Hello, this is Martha Guptill. I'm from CelebrityCharities.com, and we're at the 2016 Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention Show at Hunt Valley, Maryland. And I'm here with RUSS McCUBBIN, a wonderful actor, stunt person, as well as comic. It's such a great pleasure to meet you, sir. If you would tell us a bit about your acting and stunt work in television and film.
May the 6th, 1958, I was working for Sony's restaurant as a manager trainee, and my day off I was sitting at the counter having a strawberry pie with a pint of ice cream right in the middle of it. And Mr. Schoenbaum came in. He said, "McCubbin, what's going on here?" I said, "Well, I'm having a little dessert." He said, "I can see that, and I don't mind that." He said, "Well, I'm concerned about the portions a little bit." I said, "I understand, Alex." He said, "I see you haven't shaved." I said, "I'm not going to shave." At that time, you couldn't have any hair fixing to work at Shoney's. He said, "Well, you better find yourself another job." I said, "Well, I'll tell you something, Alex. You better find yourself another grunt." He said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "I'm going to Hollywood to be a movie star." He said, "When?" I said, "Next Tuesday." He said, work to then and get the heck out of here. Only he didn't say heck. But because Alex was very Jewish and very goofy in some ways. But Alex liked me, though, because I didn't take none of his crap. And he said, "Meet me in Chicago, and I'll introduce you to some people." Well, I hit May the 6th, 1958, I got and started hitchhiking. I had $58 in my pocket and a sign on my suitcase that said Hollywood or bust.
Wow.
And I hitchhiked to Chicago and went to the hotel where he told me he was staying. He wasn't there. So see you later. Caught the bus across town and kept right on going to California. Stayed 34 years. That's how I got started.
My. And did you start with stunt work, or did you? No, you went.
People ask me, so why did you go to Hollywood? I said, well, I was big and pretty, and I thought they needed me. But wrong again. They didn't need anybody. But I didn't know anything about acting or making movies or anything else. And I got a job parking cars at a restaurant where a lot of people hung out, picture people, and some agents and stuff. And so people started talking to me. They said, "Well, maybe you ought to go down and join the Screen Extras Guild." And I said, "Well, what are you talking about, Screen Extras?" He said, "Those are people who just come in and sit down and take up the room, and you never say nothing, and just back and forth in crowd and stuff." I said, "Yeah, that sounds pretty good." So I went down to Screen Extras Guild, and they took me on.
Oh, great.
But the pay was $22.05 a day. Well, that was all right. And I signed up, and the first day I worked, I worked on a little picture with John Saxon called "The Cry Tough." And I was a houseman for the guy who lived there, and I was doing his nails and doing stuff, you know. And when you get that close to somebody and do something for them, your pay goes up a little bit. So that's called a silent bid, and you get $61.33 for the day. I said, "Boy, I sure came to the right place."
That's right.
And then the next day I worked on the FBI store with Jimmy Stewart and Vera Miles. And I'm sitting in a restaurant, just sitting there like this, having a sandwich. And the guy comes in and sits down at one of the stars, and he says something to me, and I kind of nodded my head a little bit. And he's passing some film down to somebody. 61.33 again. Now the next day I worked on the FBI story again. But they had a big fight going on inside of a place and tearing it up, and they had me out in the yard holding a pole with a torch on it, and I was all covered up, so they didn't know I was the same guy. $100. I said, "Boy, I should have come to this party a long time ago." And that is how I got started in that business. In 1960, we had a strike in 1958, and toward 1959, we got everything ironed out. And Clinton Walker had a problem with his back, and you could not be a stand-in and a stuntman at the same time on the same show, because the stand-in was $20 a day, and the stuntman was getting SAG money, which is minimum at that time $80. But I got a nice contract for about $400 a week. Now I know I'm in the right place now. Then.
Yes, you do.
So I went. They said, "Can you do this?" I said, "I can fight. I can fall. I can get up and start off." Just to give them a big line, you know. But I was 23 years old, bulletproof and 10 feet tall. Played football, boxed a little bit, and very agile and could do a lot of things. And I got to doing that. But I did not want to be a stuntman. I wanted to be an actor. But the Stuntmen's Association asked me to join. I said, no, I want to be an actor. But I did the last 39 shows of the Cheyenne show with him. The Night of the Grizzly, I did some stuff on that for him. And we're still friends to this day.
Oh, how incredible.
He's 89 years old. I talk to him 2 or 3 times a month. And if you walked in there right now, he'd say, looky here, and turn that belt buckle up I gave him when I got off the show.
Really?
I write thank you notes. I do little things. And Clint was very nice to me. Did a couple of nice things that saved my hide. Warner tried to fire me, he wouldn't let him. So I'm getting off a day early to go do a gun smoke. And I went and had Clint a belt buckle made. I paid a lot of money for it. And it was very pretty. It had gold stars and a rope and Cheyenne and Clint Walker and a date and everything. And I had it engraved on the back. And had it in a box. And I never ever wrapped or anything. I just had some paper wrapped in a box. I said, Clint, I said, you know I'm leaving tomorrow a day early. He said, yeah. And that's okay. I said, well, I'm not much of a speech maker. But I said, I got something I want to give you. And if you don't like it, you can give it back to me. And I'll take it and go back and get my money back. He opened that box, and he got quiet for just a second. And all of a sudden, them big old tears started running down his cheeks. And he said, Russ, I'm going to tell you something. He said, I've been here 8 years. You're the first person that ever gave me anything here. And every time you see him, even here, he's got it on right there.
Oh, my.
That's right.
Oh, how precious.
So that's how I got into stunt work.
Oh.
Now, if you do extra work, they don't like to hire you as an actor because they had me yesterday for $22 while paying me $150 today. Same thing with stunt work. So as I finished those things, I got away from them. And when I left the Cheyenne show, I did not take any stunt jobs.
I see.
But I did roles that I had stunts in that I was qualified to do myself. You get paid extra for like $250 for going through the window, depending on what you do. And that's how I got into stunt work.
Oh my. Well, and all of the films that you were on, would you mention any favorites of yours?
I like them all.
Like them
Yeah, I got to go to Brazil, Mexico City, New Mexico. I've been in all 50 states, halfway around the world. 34 years in Hollywood. What else does the guy want, you know?
And then your comedic endeavors.
I'm going to get into that with you in a minute.
Okay.
I was tested for Tarzan twice.
Oh, you were
before I got the German goiter. I haven't always been 81 years old. I was 23 one time.
Well, I know. We all were.
as you can see in some of those pictures. And but Gordon Scott came back to do it the first time. And then Chuck Mahoney was the second time. Then I finally went to Mexico City and worked on the Tarzan show when Ron Ely was Tarzan. That was a nice trip.
Yes.
And see, when you go on a location, it's like going on a paid vacation. They fly you there first class, put you in the best hotel around, buy all your food, and you leave. They give you a handful of money and you go home. Yeah, that was great. That's how all this started.
That's wonderful. And now for your website that you have.
I do not have a computer.
Okay.
But I have a website. Now all that Google stuff and all the other stuff, I don't know who put that on there. But I got a good, nice little website, which I pay to keep it on and keep it up and so forth.
And what is it?
I think he's got a web page going. Somebody else has got a thing going and all that. Page book or whatever it is. And I got a pretty good coverage along this.
RUSSMcCUBBIN.com.
It's RUSS McCUBBIN.
Now, read that sign to me out loud down there.
It's
Russ
McCUBBIN, West Virginia's own world-renowned movie and comic.
No. Movie what? Movie what?
Movie and comic.
Movies.
Movie star.
Star.
Movie star.
Star.
own editing
Movie
test.
star and comic.
My own
That's
proofreading
right.
test. I failed it.
So your website is RUSSMcCUBBIN.com.
RussMcCubbin.com. You can just see about anything. It tells you all the shows I've been in,
Okay, great.
all the places I've done comedy, a nice photo gallery, and some family history. The comedy thing started. I've been kind of funny all my life a little bit, but I tended to bar. I never made no money in the picture business. A couple years I made $50,000. Some years I didn't have a job,
I understand.
but I painted houses, cut grass, sold hot dogs, whatever I had to do to make a living, so I could do what I wanted to do. And I tended to bar, and I was a good bartender. And I had me a shepherd staff, one of the big hooks, and I'd pull people off the stage or off the bar, hanging around the neck and pull them. And I had me a rubber chicken. I'd whip them with rubber chicken. And I had a cowbell. And it started saying, knock 3 times on the ceiling, bang, bang, bang. Drove the band crazy. So I entertained all them people all the time.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, I can make people laugh.
Well, there you go.
But I was scared to death, even though I know nobody was going to hurt me. But I just insecure. And there was a time in my life if somebody put that thing next to me, I'd faint.
I understand.
But now I'm not afraid of anything because I tell them, you can kill me, but you're not going to eat me, and we're going to have some fun. And, it's a lot of fun.
Well, and I do want to ask you,
You go ahead.
now, any charities or what do you do if you, like for an organization?
I do not do charities much. I get all these phone calls from people, like the highway patrol people call you. Well, they're making more money than I am already. I'm living on a very short income with the Social Security and pension and what I do here and a few residual checks. Now, those people calling you asking you for those donations, they keep about 90% and give 10 cents to the cops. I'm not interested in that. If I want to give somebody something, I give it to them.
Yes.
Like I said, I give a nice portion of my money to my church. I help some people in the street from time to time. If I know somebody needs something, I help them get it done. And if I won the lottery, I would not give one person a whole sack full of money.
Right.
I would give a lot of people some money and help them out a lot.
Yes.
And that makes me feel good when I can do that.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much, sir. You're such a wonderful gentleman, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. And again, at RussMcCubbin.com is where your website is, that those can keep in contact of where your appearances are and what you're doing in your life. And I thank you so much.
As I say in a National Enquirer magazine, they say, and now you know it all.
Yes.
Almost.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
McCubbin.
quite welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by.